Tonight on Elon Local News, a local gun shop owner denies service to certain groups of people.
It's falling apart and it's not even a year old. We'll take you to the station at Mill Point.
Later in the show, we found an Elon class with a different kind of student.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Welcome to this week's Elon Local News. I'm Jason Puckett.
And I'm Jasmine Turner. Thanks for joining us. We have new information on the person responsible for breaking into Elon Apartments. Lacey Flinthall pleaded guilty to larceny. The Burlington man is charged with burglarizing and breaking into Elon student apartments. He faces 3 counts of breaking and entering, 2 counts of larceny after breaking and entering, second-degree burglary, and felony larceny. Flinthall is said to have committed the crimes in October of 2011 and is looking at a 13 to 16-month sentence. He'll be required to pay more than $4,000 in restitution, court costs, and attorney fees. Flinthall will be evaluated for his mental health.
Problems in nearby Burlington. Our Eric Halperin joins us live in the studio with more about gang activity near Elon. Eric?
When you hear the phrase gang activity, Burlington may not be the first place that comes to mind. I found out about organized crime right outside our door. Right outside the Elon bubble, students might not notice a big problem taking over Burlington: gang activity. I spoke with Sergeant Brandon Jones of the Alamance City County Gang Crimes Task Force to find out more.
Except for maybe a Christian school or a private school that I know of, I think we have documented gang members and gang affiliates in every single school.
Jones talked about kids and their involvement in gangs. Seeing young children involved has been hard on him.
They don't know any better. That's the hardest part, is just dealing with the young children.
Jones said the youngest person they've documented as a gang member was just 9 years old.
It's a feeling of acceptance or lack thereof, and people prey on that. The gang members see these kids as easy targets. They'll have a low self-esteem.
So where in the area is gang activity highest?
Our local gang members are so sporadic about where they commit their crimes and where they live.
Once the task force starts enforcement on one crime, gang members just move on to another.
We ended up putting everybody in jail, so the home invasions went down. Well, then you had property crimes go up.
Along with their surveillance, investigating, and interviewing, the task force works to educate the community in hopes that will also help reduce the problems.
An education and a prevention aspect to what we do, because the way we look at it is if we can prevent the crimes from happening, then the enforcement part is going to take care of itself.
Jones mentioned that the Bloods and Latino gangs are probably the 2 most prevalent in Burlington. He added that a big issue they deal with is gang members coming from places like Greensboro or Durham, committing crimes, and then leaving.
A Burlington gun range with some interesting rules. Our Joe Bruno has the story.
A Don't Tread on Me flag waves outside Handgunners Incorporated. Inside, guns are fired, but not by everyone.
We're handling and discharging live weapons. We can't take no chances.
Before you enter Handgunners, you are required to read 4 signs. Those 4 signs are not to be taken lightly. If you have cornrows or dreadlocks, you can't come in. If you roll up listening to loud rap music, you can't come in. And if you practice Islam, you can't come in.
They need to clean up their act. They need to clean up their religion. Go study and read their Quran.
Hinshaw says he doesn't mind denying Islam followers business because he believes the religion has radical members.
A group of people that has attacked this country and continuously attack our country, continuously attack our troops, our people overseas, we don't want to have anything to do.
While this discrimination might seem wrong to some, to Hinshaw, letting people who practice Islam or follow the Quran inside is just too risky.
We ain't never had no problems out of the Methodists, the Baptists, the Lutherans, keep naming them, the Quakers. But this other bunch, we just, as a business, we have nothing to offer them.
Hinshaw wants firearm owners to be well trained, but depending on your faith, you might not be able to be trained by him. Joe Bruno, Elon Local News.
We reached out to the Alamance County Sheriff's Office spokesman who said that everything handgunners doing is legal. We also reached out to the North Carolina American Civil Liberties Union, but they did not respond to our request for comment.
The North Carolina State House says campus police at private universities like Elon should be held to the same public records laws as all other police forces. Last Wednesday, the House unanimously passed legislation to make this happen. The bill will now go on to the Senate less than 2 weeks after the North Carolina Supreme Court left former Elon student Nick Oxner's case unresolved. Oxner had sued Elon for withholding information in their police reports. He says he's happy with the turnout.
The fact that we essentially got the Court of Appeals decision invalidated and our Supreme Court case prompted this legislation, which is going to make these records public, then, it's a win for us.
The station at Mill Point is one of the newest additions to Elon's campus, but some residents are having problems. Our Courtney Davis spoke with a few students about the issues they've had.
The station at Mill Point is advertised as an upscale apartment complex on a college campus, but some students say the buildings were not ready to house students on move-in day.
I actually just had a person last week, they were putting in an eye hole, like a seeing hole or whatever on my door. I mean, it's just like random stuff like that. I mean, it's just not finished.
Students have also started to realize cracks in the molding and countertops becoming loose.
Well, I would have hoped that they would have built them better. I know they were on a timeline and everything, and when you're on a timeline, you have to get people in by a certain day. You tend to cut corners.
While some of these complaints are minor, students are focused on bigger problems in the junior-senior village.
The only issue that I've noticed is my shower drain not draining all the way, and I've put in 6 or 7 work orders, and they realized that it was an engineering issue. They're going to have to pull up the flooring while I'm gone for spring break to fix the pipe. There's something that's stuck in the pipe, and that's why my shower, the water gets stuck and doesn't drain quickly enough.
According to DeCruz, once she informed residents they quickly made plans to fix the problem. She thinks the builders need to take more time and be more careful while building to prevent these issues.
We should try to build a little more slowly just so that we can do it thoroughly, so that we don't have 5,000 work requests a day and physical plant doesn't have to bear the burden of a construction issue, because that's not really fair to them either.
Courtney Davis, Elon Local News.
Director of Physical Plant Robert Buckles told ELN that there's a drainage issue they are working on. For anyone living in Mill Point, the best way to fix a problem is by putting in a work order. But Buckles says that Physical Plant may wait until summer break to do any more work unless there's a pressing issue. He says they don't want to disrupt the students.
Studying abroad is a big part of many students' Elon experience, but one student isn't sure she can. The reason might surprise you.
Shelly Maxwell wants to go abroad in the fall. She's been accepted to a course in Argentina and has her finances figured out. So what's holding her back?
So I've been trying to find a subletter, and I've found some and then they haven't worked out, and it's just very frustrating.
Subletting. Maxwell needs to find someone to live here in New Trollinger and pay the lease for the fall. She can't afford to pay her rent at Elon and abroad. But that's not her biggest problem. Her major requires her to study abroad for a full semester. And if she can't do it this fall, she's in trouble.
If I'm not able to take a certain class that's only available in the spring because I have to go abroad in the spring to get a subletter, then that will just mess everything up, and I might not be able to graduate with my class.
Maxwell is double majoring, which doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room for changes. The Isabella Cannon Center strongly discourages students from signing year-long leases if they spend a semester abroad, and they don't have resources for students who live off campus. Maxwell has a suggestion.
If they could have some kind of forum saying of all the students that are going abroad in the spring and the fall and try to match up.
Maxwell is hopeful that she'll find a subletter. She knows she's not the only one with this problem, but that isn't much comfort when the consequences are so high. For ELN, I'm John Bowden.
If you are still looking for a subletter, be sure to check the Want Ads section on eNet.
Coming up, college students aren't the only ones taking classes at Elon. Find out why.
I think most people on campus are feminists, whether they realize it or not.
And how one group is working towards gender equality on campus. Coming up. The new pope gave his first noon blessing in St. Peter's Square. Francis is the first pope from South America and was formerly Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio of Argentina. The new pope chose the name Francis after St. Francis of Assisi, the saint known for his service to the poor. We spoke to Elon's father, Jerry Waterman, about the significance of the pope's new name.
That he chose the name Francis is really telltale as well. St. Francis of Assisi was a reformer and an advocate for the poor, someone who was interested in those who were marginalized. And I think that's his greatest statement to those, not only in Latin and Central America and South America, but to the churchgoers throughout the world.
Elon made its own efforts this week to address global issues. On Wednesday, the Truett Center for Religious and Spiritual Life hosted a dinner and discussion on poverty. At the dinner, students talked about how different faiths address the issue. President of Elon's Muslim Student Association, Neda Azam, said the dinner focused on togetherness.
We talked about what our religion talks about, what they believe in, how we can help within religions, and how together we can make a difference on Elon campus and in the world.
With midterms right around the corner, last-minute studying might keep students up late into the night, but what does that mean for their health? Well, according to Dr. Jeanette Archinall of the Health Center, a healthy amount of sleep for students is between 7 and 9 hours per night. And if you don't get enough, it can have some serious consequences. Lack of concentration. Possible long-term effects include heart disease, risk of having a stroke, chronic mood changes, depression, anxiety, and a weakened immune system. Dr. Archinall knows that sleep deprivation is an issue facing many college students today, but she has some advice for students when it comes time to choose classes.
The nice thing about college is if you have a choice about classes, never choose an 8 a.m. because then you can. It doesn't matter if you don't go to bed till 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. You can get up at 10:30. You know, you're still getting 7.5 hours sleep, so you're going to be okay.
In most cases, professors stand in front of the class, but for one Elon professor, the roles are reversed.
Growing up in Montreal, philosophy professor Frances Bottenberg grew up speaking French, and now she returns to the classroom to learn more.
So I thought, hey, why not take an advanced level French class? It's a great opportunity to kind of speak and learn some new vocab and learn some new literature.
As an Elon professor, Bottenberg gets to take the class for free, something she appreciates.
I think it really encourages this idea of education as something that should be fun and something that you go to do because you're interested and invested in it, not just because you have to take a class for a certain reason.
Professor Sophie Adamson teaches Bottenberg and says the classroom is not just for college-age kids.
It's really a wonderful pedagogical experience as well. And then I think it is really refreshing for students to see that professors are people and we're constantly wanting to learn.
Student Claire Mayo was taken by surprise when she showed up to class in February.
At first, I didn't quite know what to think. That professor was taking an undergraduate class with a bunch of 18 to 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. But after hearing her perspective on many of the issues that we've been discussing, it's actually been a very beneficial aspect to our classroom environment.
You may not have had any faculty in your classes, but Adamson has taught 2 professors. Tess McCurdy, Elon Local News.
Love your school enough to change it. You may recognize this saying on some of your friends' Facebook cover photos. A student group called the Alliance is getting the word out about inclusivity on Elon's campus. We talked to sophomore Josh Kaufman about why he thinks it's important for Elon students to take notice.
So it's really just, it's everyone's responsibility not just to be aware, but kind of be involved. And even if something's not impacting you directly, even if it's not a racial or demeaning slur towards you, it's something that we as a community need to come together and make sure that everyone's feeling safe on this campus and be able to express their authentic selves.
Another group promoting inclusiveness and community, Elon Effect. Brian Mazurski found out what the group is and what they are doing for gender equality.
We're helping some people realize that they are feminists, and it's not a scary word.
That was the goal in Young Commons Friday afternoon as students wrote their own words describing why they need feminism. Once written, a photo was taken to include in a Facebook campaign titled Who Needs Feminism? The event was sponsored by Elon Effect, a feminist student organization supporting equality for all genders, sexual identities, and backgrounds.
Feminism is about helping women to realize their own power.
Elon Effect's president Sam Ciberini says the photo campaign was a visual way to show what members of Effect believe in and what's important to them. And Elon feminist vice president Edith Veramu says she believes equality has not yet been reached.
We're really trying to get people to know that, all over the world, on this campus, everywhere, women and men are treated unequally, and that's not okay.
Ciberini says that's why Effect exists. It's the group for people who want to do more for the feminist cause outside of classroom discussions. Ciberini says she hadn't sensed too much of a feminist presence on Elon's campus before joining Effect. She says the people were there but didn't have a great outlet to express their beliefs. But she's pleased with her organization's progress.
All the positivity makes me feel good for the future of feminism at Elon.
And Ciberini says Elon Effect will continue campaigns like the one on Friday until all voices are heard and everyone feels they are equal. Brian Mazurski, Elon Local News.
Coming up, we take a deeper look into the world of a cappella and one group that worked against a tight deadline.
Spring break is just a few days away, and hopefully that means a little break at the pump for students driving home. According to AAA, the average price for a regular gallon of gas in North Carolina today is $3.68. If you're traveling down the coast, make sure to stop in South Carolina to get your gas. The average price for regular there is $3.47. And if you're traveling up north, your best bets are New Jersey and Virginia. Regular in Virginia is currently at $3.58, and New Jersey is seeing even lower prices. A regular gallon runs you just $3.51. And Julie Morse is in the studio with tips for saving on spring break in this week's College Consumer.
Thanks, Jasmine. The only thing standing between you and the beach or any other vacation hotspot is one more week of class and possibly the lack of money in your wallet. I have tips on how to make this spring break the cheapest one yet. Let's start for those who are renting out a beach house. As tempting as it is, don't eat out each night. Instead, head to Costco or BJ's, buy in bulk, and then cook. You'll save money on the tip and be able to eat dinner for as little as $5 a person. This one might seem simple, but if you're driving to your destination, go the speed limit. Nothing puts a damper on your vacation than a $200 speeding ticket. You might make good time by speeding, but you're going to have less money to spend on spring break if you get pulled over. Next, you don't need that souvenir shot glass or snow globe. Think about that souvenir you bought on your last trip. It's probably sitting on a shelf somewhere, so don't waste your money. If you need to buy a souvenir for your friends, keep the gift under $3 and really think twice if your friend will actually have a use for the souvenir at their place. Try to buy your souvenirs before you get to this airport. Those airport gift shops are overpriced because they know you're desperate for that forgotten souvenir. Finally, do your research. Looking to buy tickets to Disney World? Check online to see if there are coupons before you head to the gate. Trying to find somewhere for dinner? Check out Groupon or restaurant.com to see what kind of deals you can get. There's almost always a discount waiting for you. You just need to find it online. Have any suggestions for saving money on spring break? Tweet them at me at _Julie Morse. Looking out for the college consumer, I'm Julie Morse.
We want to clarify a report we brought you last week about the sequester's effect on Elon. Patrick Murphy, the director of financial planning at Elon, says that Elon students receiving federal aid should not be worried about next year. He says that overall Elon is still going to see more money, especially for the federal work-study program.
St. Patrick's Day just passed, and now there's a new club on Elon's campus celebrating Irish spirit. An Irish step dance club will form after spring break. Sophomore Kayla Noborowski talked to us about why she and her friends came together to form this club.
Well, we all kind of met last year when we were freshmen, I think like through Facebook or something. We decided to meet, and we just kind of like played around in the studio a couple times, and we thought like, why don't we make this a real thing? Because some people were asking us to like perform. We did the talent show last year and Elon-thon, and so we just thought it was like a really good idea if we'd start a club and then we could find more Irish dancers.
And the Irish Step Club isn't the only new entertainment group on campus. Our Alex Rose explores Elon's newest all-male music group.
Knowing the large amount of musical talent on Elon's campus, Montez Brown had a goal. Over the course of 29 days, he wanted to prepare his new all-male a cappella group, Smooth Progressions, for the biggest a cappella show of the year, Aquapalooza.
It was a bit of a time crunch, considering I had auditions for the group on February 16th, so we had exactly a month to prepare for the show.
Montez created the group as an outlet for more Elon men to have their voices and talent heard. Although they put a lot of effort into preparing for the show, the group knows how to have a good time.
We have a lot of fun together, so the fun aspect's definitely there. Now we just have to buckle down and get the music.
Once everything was there musically, Montez wanted to put in the extra effort to make their one song pop.
I just couldn't let us go on stage and just stand in one spot. Like, I definitely feel like choreography takes everything to a whole new level when you're performing.
So on top of the group getting to know each other and learning parts to a new song, Smooth Progressions added some dance moves to the mix. With all their dedication and hard work, Brown feels confident about the big show.
I feel really prepared. I think as far as that rehearsal went today, like, things sounded good. We cleaned up things that didn't look so good. And the biggest issue tomorrow will be getting past nerves and the anxiety of our first performance, but I think we'll be fine.
And on Saturday night, the crowd was impressed. Alex Rose, Elon, Local News.
Smooth Progressions was just one of the 9 a cappella groups featured in Whitley Auditorium. The line was out the door Saturday night for Elon's 11th annual Aquapalooza. Elon's own Sweet Signatures hosted the event for all 5 Elon a cappella groups, including 4 other student groups from across the country. Students laughed, cheered, and even sang along during the show. We talked to Sweet Signatures President Keegan Gross about this tradition of musical talent.
It's just really a way to unite the a cappella community. And for a lot of these people, this is the only event that they'll come to every year. So it's really kind of showing them the best of all the groups on campus, as well as from all over.
Coming up in sports, the men's basketball team season isn't quite over yet. Find out more about their postseason bid and others after the break. Welcome back to Elon Local News. I'm Justin Beagle. After a crushing defeat to the College of Charleston in the SoCon tournament last weekend, the team's only chances of reaching the postseason were in the hands of the NCAA Selection Committee. Luckily, their prayers were answered, and late Friday evening, the team found out they had gotten a bid to play in the collegeinsider.com, or CIT, postseason tournament. First-round action will begin March 19th. Elon is scheduled to face Canisius College in the first round on Wednesday at 7 from the Kessler Athletic Center in Buffalo, New York. This will be the first postseason appearance by the Phoenix since becoming a Division I program, and head coach Matt Matheny is just as excited for this tournament as his players.
We're excited to be in the postseason. It's been since, I think, 96, 97 since we've had a postseason opportunity. So we're very thankful for the CBI and the CIT that gives us a chance to be in the postseason.
On Saturday, the men's tennis team took on Wofford in a Southern Conference tournament matchup. The Phoenix remained undefeated at 2-0 in the SoCon, and they were looking to go for 3 against the Terriers. The Phoenix started off hot, sweeping the competition in the doubles matches. One of the top duos in the country, Juan Madrid and Jordan Kaufman, put together an impressive 8-5 victory over Wofford's Parks Thompson and Graham Duncan. Soon thereafter, Stefan Fortman and Cameron Silverman took down Rob Galloway and Walker Heffron before Robert Lindgren and Brian Kowalski came in to finish things off. The Phoenix continued to dominate in the singles matches, where Lindgren, Galloway, and Kowalski all won in straight sets. An overall dominating performance by the Phoenix. Your final score from the Jim Powell Tennis Center, Elon 6, Wofford 1. The team would be back at it again Sunday afternoon against Furman, still looking to keep their undefeated streak alive. The Phoenix rolled early. The combo of Juan Madrid and Jordan Kaufman won the first doubles match rather easily, cruising to an 8-6 victory over Jacob Bahal and Tyler Droll. Cameron Silverman and Stefan Fortman backed that up with an impressive come-from-behind victory over Furman's Andrew Malo and Joel Cook. The team's momentum carried into the singles match, where Elon never dropped a set. Your final score, Elon 7, Furman 0. And finally, do you need something to do this weekend after taking your midterm exams? Here are some games that you will not want to miss. A fairly quiet weekend, Elon, except for Wednesday, March 20th. The baseball team hosts the Princeton Tigers at 2 o'clock before going on the road to face Western Carolina. Later that afternoon at 3 o'clock, you can catch the men's tennis team take on Dartmouth in a non-conference match. The men will look to increase their winning streak to 5 consecutive games. And last but not least, at 4 o'clock, the women's tennis team will take on Southern Conference foe Davidson. This will be the ladies' first match since blowing out Western Carolina 7-0 on the road last week. For the latest news, updates, and scores, check us out at ELN Sports. Jason, Jasmine, back to you.
Thanks, Justin. That's all for this Elon Local News. Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
And check us out online at elonlocalnews.com. Have a great week, Elon.